Good morning and welcome to KCPS Homeroom. I'm Justin Robinson. Today launches the second semester of Homeroom. This semester we are broadcasting episodes by grade level. Our new schedule is as follows. On Mondays, we'll have lessons for pre-K and kindergarten students. On Tuesday, lessons for grades 1st and 2nd. On Wednesday, grades 3rd and 4th. Thursday, grades 5th and 6th. And Friday, we are targeting secondary students with a focus on real-world learning. Our goal here is still the same, to offer video-based learning for elementary and secondary students across the metro area. The elementary classes we'll offer will focus on core content areas like English, math, science, while also providing selected special lessons in physical education, music, STEM, and world languages. The secondary videos will focus on real-world learning lessons to reinforce how classroom lessons relate to students when they get to the real world. Again, today is for pre-kindergarten and kindergarten students. We will start off with reading, then math, then science, a physical education lesson, and finally, Intro to Spanish. Hope you enjoy class today, and let's get ready to learn with Miss Perry in reading.
Hey, I'm Mrs. Perry, and I have an amazing reading lesson for you today. Let's take a look at what you'll be learning. Elements of a narrative story, character, and setting. And in today's lesson, you will be learning about elements of narrative stories. What? Elements of a narrative story? Sound like some pretty big words, huh? Don't worry, I'll break them all down during this lesson, so stay tuned. The first element of a narrative story that you'll learn about today is character. Can you say character? And character is a big word. What kind of word? That's right, a big word for the people in the story. Who's in the story? Let's think about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Who was in that story? Goldilocks, and who else? The Three Bears. They are the characters, the people in the story. The second element that you'll learn today is setting. Can you say setting? And setting is a big word. What kind of word? That's right, a big word. Setting is a big word for where the story takes place. So, are they at your house? Are they at a restaurant? Are they at the mall? Are they at the library? Where are they? Setting, where the story takes place. Are you ready to practice? Good, because I have a story I want to read. Now, as I'm reading, be sure to pay close attention because I want you to listen for the characters and the setting of the story. The title of my story is The Lion and the Mouse. Now remember, pay very close attention because I want you to listen for the character and the setting. Lion lay asleep on a sunny afternoon. Mouse was hurrying home through the tall grass. She stumbled upon Lion and woke him. Lion trapped Mouse under his huge paw. He lifted her by the tail and swung her slowly through the air. An afternoon snack, Lion said. Delightful. Mouse felt his hot breath on her fur. She was so scared. Her voice was just a squeak. Spare me, she cried, and one day I will help you in return. Lion laughed loudly. Mouse trembled. You help me? He laughed. You are a funny little one. Still, he let Mouse go. He soon dozed off again under the hot sun. Mouse dashed home. She was happy to be alive. The day came when Lion stepped into a hunter's net. He was trapped. Lion struggled. The net pulled tighter. Lion roared in anger. Then he roared in fear. His loud roar carried in every direction. Many animals heard him. None came to help him. None dared to free Lion except Mouse. Mouse ran to Lion's side. She found him in the trap. Mouse chewed away the net with her sharp little teeth. Before long, Lion was free. Lion shook off the ropes. He looked deep into Mouse's eyes. "Thank you, little friend," Lion said. "You are most welcome, big friend," Mouse replied. "What you give is what you get." Mouse's words still hold true today. What is just as true? That even a little mouse can help a mighty lion. All right, now that you've listened to the story, let's talk about our big words. What was that first word? Character, right. Let's talk about the characters in the story. Can you think of anyone? Who were the people in the story? Lion, great. Who was another character from the story? Mouse, wonderful. Now let's talk about the setting, or where the story took place. Where was the mouse and the lion in the story? Were they in a house? Were they outside? Were they in a restaurant? Where was the setting of the story? Let's recap everything that we've learned during this lesson. We've learned 2 new words, character and setting. Character is a big word for the people in the story. And setting is where the story takes place. Who were the characters in our story? That's right, Lion and Mouse. And what was the setting in the story? They were outside. Correct. Let's get ready to do some sentences. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, so our first sentence is on the board. Feel free to write the sentence out if you want to. If not, it's fine. So take a look at the board. I have 2 words down here at the bottom, and I hope that you recognize those words. This first word is setting. This first word is setting. And remember, the setting is what? Where the story takes place. Our next word is character. Character. Who were the people in the story? Who were the people in the story? Character. All right, so I am going to read this sentence to you, but I have a blank. I need to fill my blank in with one of these words. Only one of these words will go on that line. The mouse was a blank in the story. The mouse was a blank in the story. Well, now I'm going to try each of my words and see which one makes sense in the sentence. The mouse was a setting in the story. The mouse was a setting in the story. Well, I know setting is where the story takes place. So the mouse was a where the story takes place in the story. Does that make sense? I don't know. Let's try our next word. The mouse was a character in the story. The mouse was a character in the story. Well, I know that a character is a person in the story. So the mouse was a person in the story. Which one makes sense? Was the mouse a setting in the story, or was the mouse a character in the story? I'll give you 3 seconds. Go. If you said character, you were correct. The mouse was a character in the story. The mouse couldn't be a setting because the setting is where the story takes place. Get ready for our next sentence. Can you think of a way to tell me where the story took place? Can you think of a way to tell me where the story took place? I'll go first. The lion and the mouse were outside. The lion and the mouse were outside. Now, can you think of another way to tell me what the setting of the story was? Okay, now you learned 2 elements of a narrative story. Now, don't forget it, because next week I'll be back and we'll continue talking about characters. Don't just leave. Stay tuned for math with Miss Barnes.
Hey there, mathematicians. Thanks, Miss Williams. Today we're going to be looking at the number 5. And our objective, if you want to read it with me, is I can decompose and represent numbers to 5. Now, decompose is a really long word that has 3 syllables. Let's practice it together. Ready? Decompose. Good job. So today we're going to talk about decomposing the number 5. Now, decompose means to take it apart. We want to find out what numbers live inside the number 5. And we're also going to represent, which means we're going to draw a picture or we're going to use math tools in order to help us understand this concept. So today I'm going to be working with a 5 frame and counters. If you don't have these math tools at home, that's okay. The 5 frame is available online if your parents would like to print it out, or you could use it on your iPad from school even. And if you don't have counters, just find 2 objects that are different colors. So I have red and yellow. Maybe you have black and blue. So just make sure that you have 2 different colors of objects and maybe just a flat surface to work on. And let's get ready to learn. All right. So today I told you that we're going to be working with the number 5. Okay? The number 5 is represented in a couple different ways. This is called standard form, just the numeral, the number 5. And we write 5 like this, F-I-V-E. That is the number 5. So the first thing I want you to do is grab your counters and in front of your flat surface, I'd like you to create a row of 5 objects in front of you. And it doesn't matter what colors you have, so we're going to work on that in a moment. So I'm just going to lay down my counters like this. Okay, I'm going to put mine in my 5 frame. And what we know about this 5 frame is that when it's full, that's 5. So we don't have to count them anymore. What we do have to count are the parts of 5. So how many red counters and how many yellow counters do you see on my screen? I count 1 red counter, right? 1 red counter. Can you count the yellow counters for me? So there's 1 yellow, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 1 red counter and 4 yellow counters. Right. So I have 1 red counter, and that's just this one right here. And then I have 4 yellow counters. Looking at the 5 frame here, can you tell me what are the 2 parts of 5 here? We know that 5 is equal, or is the same as 1 And what other number? How many yellow counters did we have? That's right, 5 is the same as 1 and 4. And instead of and here, what we're going to put is a plus sign. That means we're going to add them together. So in this arrangement, I know that 5 is the same as 1 and 4. Are you ready to find a different way to make 5? Clear your row, and let's start again. So in front of you, while I erase all of my marker, I'd like for you to show me how to make 5 in a different way. Can you find a different way to show me the number 5? So lay out your materials in front of you. I'm going to fill my 5 frame, and this time I'll fill my 5 frame just like this. Okay? So now we're working with a different set of numbers that also equals 5. And we know that it equals 5 because my row is full in my 5 frame. If it was not full, I would need to look at it and analyze it in order to know how many is there. But I know that because the row is full, there are 5. So now we're going to talk about this set of numbers. So I know that we're still working with 5. And this time, I know that 5 is the same as, how many red counters do you see in the 5 frame here? Here's the 5 frame, let's count them. 1, 2. So here, this part of the 5 frame has 2 red counters. The other part of the 5 frame has how many yellow counters? 1, 2, 3. So that means that 5 is also 2 and 3? That's kind of confusing. So, that's not the number 2. So 5 is also the same as 2 red counters and 3 yellow counters. And remember, in the middle, we're going to put them together, so we put a plus sign here. So let's review. We've talked about the word decompose. Can anyone tell me what that means? Do you remember? That's right, decompose means to break it apart, to find out what lives inside. And represent, do you remember what represent means? Represent means to draw a picture or a model. And today we didn't draw very much, but we did create a model, right? And I told you that we were going to work with numbers to 5. So we worked a lot today with the number 5. We're going to go back really quickly, and we're actually going to decompose a different number. A number that's close to 5, but that is not 5. So let's look very quickly. Let's practice one more time. Clear your row. And can you find another way to represent 5? Find another way to fill your 5 frame that we have not already tried. Are you ready? So first I'm going to put 3 red counters. Then I'm going to put 2 yellow counters. And this is a very special case in math. It has a very special name. How many red counters do you see here? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. 3 red counters. I'm going to write the number 3 on top. And on the right side of the 5 frame here, how many yellow counters do I have? Well, let's look. 1, 2. I have 2 yellow counters here. So that means I also know that 5 is the same as 3 and 2. So 5 is the same as 3 and 2. Now look at these number sentences. What do you notice? Do you notice anything tricky here? This is a special case in math, and it has a very special name called the commutative property. And that just means that it doesn't matter whether we write 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2. We know that both equations are equal to 5. I hope this lesson has helped you learn how to decompose and represent numbers to 5. Remember, you can find the 5 frame online on the Kansas City Public Schools website. And I can't wait to see you next week. Get ready for science with Miss Schumacher.
Hello! How are you? My name is Miss Schumacher, and I am your science teacher for pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. Today, we are going to go over weather. Let's get started. Today in science, you will need your observation eyes, your thinking brains. If you have a science journal or other piece of paper, writing tools, and a camera. Today, we are going to study weather. I am not going to ask you whether you like one thing or another. That is not the kind of weather that I am going to teach you about, sillies. I want us to think about today the weather that happens outside. Did you know that you are scientists every time that you go outside? That's right. As junior scientists, you can think about and observe weather every time you look out your window or step outside your door. Today, we are going to warm up our science brains by visualizing. That just means thinking about. I want to ask you about your favorite weather. What is your favorite weather? What do you like to do in your favorite weather? I want you to close your eyes and think in your science brains about your favorite weather. Are you ready? Here we go. Close your eyes and visualize yourself in your favorite weather. What type of weather was happening? Was it raining? Was it snowing? Was it sunny and warm? Let's check in with some of our junior scientists from across the metro and see what they visualized themselves doing in their favorite weather.
I love playing fall with my sisters. My favorite thing is when it's warm. I like snowy days because I like to make snowballs and make snow angels. A mí me gustan los días calientitos porque puedo nadar en agua y también ir para afuera a jugar con la pelota.
Wow! So many different opinions on favorite kinds of weather. Do you know what weather is my favorite weather? Take a look over there. Oh, that's my favorite weather. I am happiest when it is raining. Miss Schumacher's very favorite weather is the rain. Now we need to think about who studies weather. Who is a weather expert? Do you know who studies weather? A weather expert is called a meteorologist. Can you say that word? Meteorologist. A meteorologist is a person who studies the weather. And guess what? You get to be a meteorologist today. Junior scientists, take a moment and use your eyes, your observation eyes, to notice what is going on in these 4 images. Take your eyes all around the screen. What do you notice about the weather? Do you think that these images, these pictures showing different weather, were taken on the same day or different days? I agree with you. I think these images were taken on different days. Take a look at this image. This image shows Kansas City in the snow. Brr! It looks like a snowy day in Kansas City. The clouds are coming down over Union Station. Take a look at this image. That image is of a rainy day. That family is walking along in a park. The rain is coming down. What is happening here? It looks like a sunny day with a few clouds. We have one more image. What is happening here? That image of the city looks like it's being taken at night. Our job is to start thinking about how we will track the weather, how we will be like meteorologists. Junior scientists, it is time for us to start practicing making scientific observations. That's right. We are going to observe weather today. And to practice, I have invited my friend, Miss Schumacher, as a Bitmoji to help us. We are going to be observing Mrs. Schumacher outside in the weather. Now, as junior scientists, it is not just enough to think about weather. We need to track our observations. There is not just one way to track observations. You could use a number of different scientific tools. Today, I am going to use a notebook and pencil. The tools that I am going to use are a notebook and a pencil. You might use different tools. You might like to use a notebook and crayons. You might like to have your observations have color. You could make observations of the weather by taking a picture with a camera or a device that has a camera, like this, my school iPad. This is something I could use to make an observation. But today, me, Miss Schumacher, I am going to make my observations on a journal. You can decide how you would like to make your observations. Whoa! When I take a look out the window, what has Miss Schumacher gotten herself into? What kind of weather is this? On the very first time that I looked out the window, I saw snow. In my science notebook, I'm going to write the number 1. When I draw my snowflake, I am just going to use lines. That's going to represent or show snow. This is the second observation. I have number 1. Now I'm going to write the number 2. The first time it was snowing. The second time, what type of weather is it? There was sun and a cloud. When we looked out the window the second time, there was sun and a cloud. Now, as a scientist, it was not enough for me to just observe. one time or 2 times, I need at least one more piece of data. Let's look out the window again. What type of weather is happening now? That's right, it's raining. I have made 3 different observations. Each time, the weather was different. The weather has changed. That concludes our science lesson for today. It has been my pleasure having you in science class. I am Ms. Schumacher. I will see you next week. For now, you are headed to physical education with Coach. Goodbye.
Hey, welcome to gym classes. My name is Josh Hauk, and I will be teaching you guys physical education for pre-K and kindergarten, but anybody is welcome. Now, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some cool things with balloons. So what I'm going to have you guys do is I want you guys to get into an open space like here in the gym, or if you have a nice living room or kitchen that has an open space, go ahead and go there. Also, make sure you have a water bottle and just have fun. Let's get started. So I got a couple balloons here. Let's go over some safety rules real quick. First rule, please, if you have a parent or guardian, have them blow up the balloon for you. Second thing, do not put the balloon in your mouth. This is unsafe and Coach H does not want you to get hurt. Secondly, we will not need to be pulling on the balloon and stretching it out. If you stretch the balloon out, you're gonna pop it, okay? Last thing is, please just have fun. I want you guys to have a great time, but that's the reason I want us to talk about the safety rules. So let's get started and blow up these balloons. And that looks like about the right size I want. We're gonna blow up another one just in case the other one pops. Here's one. And that one's just a little bit bigger, but I'm just showing you that you can have any size of balloon that you want, but you just don't want it to be too small or too big. And I would just say these are about the right size. Maybe this would be about the right size, not too big for that. And if you don't want to go any smaller than that. And if I can just get my fingers in here, there we go. Perfect, we got 2 balloons. I'm gonna be using this balloon. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some hand-eye coordination. That is the cool thing about our body, is that whatever we see and touch, that's what we're going to go to. And the cool thing about balloon is a good starter for anybody that's wanting to play volleyball, anybody that's wanting to play football, anybody that's wanting to do anything like tennis, cool things like that. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with just pushing the balloon up in the air. And I want you guys to try to do it at least 30 times. So let's go ahead and get started. So just with your palms, I want you to hold the balloon up in the air just like this, and you're going to do it 30 times, okay, with the palm of your hand. Now, when you're doing this, try to stay in one area, okay? Now, after you get to 30 times, try with just one hand. With the palm of your hand, just like that. Nice job. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Great. Now, I forgot to mention, if you get lost control with your balloon, it's okay. Grab the tail of the balloon, this part, and hold on to it and come back to your spot, and then redo it again. So we just did our palm of our hand. Now I'm gonna get a little tricky with you guys. The next one I want you guys to do is your pinky, or even just your index finger. And I want you to bounce it with your index finger or your pinky finger. Oops, that hit me in the face. So keep doing that, and I want you guys to do that for 30 times. And see, I'm kind of struggling with this one, and it's okay. I want you guys to just try to make sure you stay in one spot and try to keep the balloon up. Oop, hit myself in the face, but that's okay. You're gonna pick up the balloon again and restart. So I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna hit it with my finger. Awesome job. And if you want to, then change it up. Maybe you wanna do your thumb. Do your thumb, or you can do your pinky. Nice job. Let's move on to the next one. The next one I want you guys to do is we're going to do our elbow. That one's going to be a little tricky. It's all the way out there, and we hardly ever use our elbow. But I want you guys to try to hit it with the balloon. I want you to try to do this 30 times as well. So let's get started. There we go, and I'm coming towards the camera too close. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna bring it back just like that and go back to my spot. Nice job. The hand-eye coordination is gonna come in handy when you're playing professional football, you're gonna be playing professional baseball, or you're gonna be playing professional volleyball. Keep up that good work at home. Awesome job, awesome job. Keep it up. Whew, the balloon was getting away from me. Let's do it a couple more times. Right here, keep it single, right in front of you. And you don't have to hit it very high, just enough to make it get up in the air. Perfect. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is our noggin. I want you guys to hit it with the ball or the balloon with your head. I can think of one sport that does that a lot. Soccer. If you love soccer, let's go ahead and try to do this one with the balloon. So I want you to throw the balloon up in the air and try to hit it with your head. Nice job. Sometimes it's going to get out of control. Make sure to grab it and bring it back to your spot. Hit it with our head. Nice job. I can see you guys working at home. And where did it go? Oh, there it is. It keeps going. Once you throw it up in the air and hit it with your head. Make sure you try to do it at least 30 times. Nice job. Keep it up. Whew. Man, I am getting a workout in. We got 2 more exercises. The next one I want you guys to do, top of our knee. So you're gonna take that balloon, you're gonna hit the balloon 30 times on top of your knee. So let's get started. Boom. And I'm not very good at this one, so go ahead and grab it every time. So if you have to only do it once and then bring it back to you, that is okay. That is a good starting point. Nice job. Keep it up, and I want you to keep hitting it. Try to do it at least 30 times. Keep it up. Maybe try to do it with different leg. Keep it up. Make sure I keep it in range. Nice job. After you do that 30 times, I want you to bring your balloon back, and I want you to hit with the top of your foot now. This is going to be a little bit more soccer as well. So I want you to take the ball or the balloon, and I want you to hit with your foot. But you know what? There's also another sport that is related to hitting it with your foot. I'm thinking our Chiefs, we're hitting it with our foot if we're doing a starting kickoff. Boom. But you don't have to hit the balloon that hard. We're just practicing our foot with hitting the balloon. So you're going to hit it just like that. Nice job. And I'm getting it out. Bring it back to you. Make sure you do it at least 30 times. Nice job. And I can see you guys working at home. Awesome job. Make sure you grab that balloon and bring it back. Keep up that good work, boys and girls. Man, I am going to need some water after this. Hopefully you have your water bottle right next to you. We're going to get a drink of water here after the next couple hits here. Nice job. Keep it up. All righty. Let's go ahead and get a drink of water. Let me grab my water bottle. Whew, there's my water bottle. So go ahead. I want you guys to take a little moment break and think, you know what? I did a fantastic job on my exercises today. I want you guys to make sure you also get a drink of water. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple drinks. Man, isn't that water refreshing? I am also getting my heart rate up really, really high. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to bring that heart rate back down. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Just like that. So when we bring it in, I want you to bring it in just like this. And then exhale. Nice job. Let's do 2 more of those. Breathe in. Hold it. And breathe out. Nice job. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Nice job. Whenever you're feeling stressed or you feel like you're working out super hard and you need a moment break, do one of those. You're just going to breathe in, hold it for a couple seconds, and breathe out. And also make sure you keep yourself hydrated by drinking some water. Let's go ahead. We're going to move right back into doing the balloons. This time, I'm going to do the bigger balloon. So let's get started. Now, I think the first one I said is you're going to do with your palms. And I'm trying to think, I didn't mention the sport that you can use with your hands and holding the balloon up. I'm thinking of one already. volleyball. Volleyball is a great sport, and you have to use your hands a lot. So we're going to use this balloon. We're going to think of it as a volleyball, and we're going to keep that balloon up. So let's try it 30 times. Here we go. Nice job. Keep it in a single area. Good job. And usually if the balloon's a little bit bigger, it's going to come down just a little bit slower. Let's try it again. I got out of spot. Keep it up. Nice job. Nice job. Keep it up, boys and girls. You're doing an awesome job at home. Let's move on to the next one, the palm of our hand. Or not the palm of our hand, our pinky or our index finger. Here we go. Try to do it at least 30 times. Nice. Look at that. Keep it in the single spot. If you already know you can do it with your index finger, try to do it with your pinky. Woo, that one's a little bit more difficult for me. Trying to keep it up. Woo. You guys are doing a fantastic job at home. Look at me. Professional, professional. Look at that, professional. Awesome job. Woo. Now, the next one that we're going to do is we're going to use our head real quick. I want you guys to do it 30 times at home. So here we go. Take the balloon. Try to hit it with your head. And my hair is kind of spiky, so hopefully I don't pop the balloon. Nice job. Keep it up. Nice job. Make sure you stay in one area. Keep it up. We're going to bring it back. Here we go. Whoop. Sometimes I mess up and you just got to re-center yourself. Back up. Nice job. Let's do the next one. Our knee. So I want you to take it, hit it with your knee. Bring it back, hit it with your knee. Try to do it at least 30 times. If you have already done it with one foot, try the other foot. Go up and down. Balloon's getting out of the way. Let's try it again. Up. Nice job. Nice job. Keep it up, boys and girls. You're doing a great job at home. Keep up that good work. Alrighty. The last one I want us to do again is I want us to hit with our foot. Try to do it at least 30 times. Here we go. Keep it up, keep it up. And this one requires a lot of balance because you're bringing your foot up and your other foot's going up in the air trying to hit that balloon. So just try to make sure you are in open space and just trying to stay in one area. Nice job. And make sure you guys do it at least 30 times. Nice job. It's kind of like hacky sack. If you have a hacky sack at home, great way to get yourself ready for soccer. Bringing that balloon up. Awesome job. All right, boys and girls, one more time I want you guys to get a drink of water. And then we're going to do some breathing treatment. Because I am burning up in here. I am just working out super hard. Nice job. We're going to do a couple breathing treatments real quick. Make sure you hold it for a couple seconds and then exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nice job. Now, that does conclude my PE session for today. You guys did such an amazing job, and I really am so happy that you guys joined me today. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. And that concludes. Let's move on to our next class.
Hola, buenos dias. Yo soy Profesora Ellis, and we are going to learn about some greetings in Spanish, farewells, and also some introductions in Spanish. I want you to follow along on my PowerPoint just so that you can have this knowledge as I'm talking. So again, my name is Profesora Ellis, and we're going to learn about some greetings, farewells, and introductions in Spanish today. Materials that you're going to need for today, number 1 is a pen or pencil. Number 2, you're going to need a notebook to write these notes down. Number 3 is going to be either a phone or a desktop. And number 4, you're going to need a positive attitude, okay? Because language is something that is a journey. So it's going to take some practice, but that's what we're here for. So here are some greetings that you can use with either strangers, people of authority, and individuals older than you. So the first one is buenos dias. I want you to repeat buenos dias. Buenos dias in English means good morning. Then we have buenas tardes. Repeat, buenas tardes. Buenas tardes in English means good afternoon. Then lastly we have buenas noches. I want you to repeat buenas noches. Buenas noches in English means good night. So these are all forms of greetings that you can use for morning, buenos dias, afternoon, buenas tardes, and night, buenas noches. So now let's do some practice now that we have some greetings for morning, afternoon, and night. So, this is Geraldo. Este hombre aquí es Geraldo. He's older than you, right? And let's say that you're walking through the streets and you happen to see him as you walk into a store. Okay? Remember, he's older than you. So, an example of a greeting we could use with him would be what? What do you think we could use with him? We didn't mention a time, so we could say good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on what time it is. So if you thought either buenos dias, buenas tardes, or buenas noches, all of those are perfect. That'd be a great way to greet Geraldo, and he would respond with whatever you used. So if we say buenos dias, Geraldo, he would say buenos dias, and he'd probably ask you how you were. Let's try with another example. This time we're more specific with what time it is. So, looking at this image, it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So I want you to think of an example that you could use at this time of the day. Would it be good morning if it's 5 p.m.? Would it be at night since it's 5 p.m.? Or would the afternoon work the best? I think the afternoon would work the best. So that means we would use buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. And again, if you had a person that you were talking to, then you'd say, hola, buenas tardes, and they would respond, buenas tardes. So that would be your greeting. Now let's move on to greetings that you can use with either friends, family, or individuals with whom you're familiar with. So this is a very common phrase that you've heard a lot, and you already probably say this without even knowing that it's a common greeting for friends, family, or individuals with whom you're familiar. So hola, repeat, hola. Remember in Spanish that the H is silent, so you would never say hola, no. You'd say hola, which would mean hey. Another greeting would be ¿qué tal? Right? So that means what's up. So repeat ¿qué tal? And it's in the form of kind of a question like what's up? ¿Qué tal? Another option is ¿qué pasa? This is also another common phrase you've probably heard and didn't realize that you knew this already. So ¿qué pasa? Repeat ¿qué pasa? Which means what's up. These again are all ways that you can greet friends, family, individuals with whom you are familiar. So on to an example. Linda here is a friend of yours that you see so often around the neighborhood. So if you see her so often, how would you greet her? And you have many options of how you could actually greet her here. So if you thought of hola, perfect, ¿qué tal? Perfect, ¿qué pasa? Perfect. And Linda would respond to you with her appropriate greeting. Hola, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué tal? Here we have another example. So this is Violet. She happens to be a family friend. So what's an example of how you could greet a family friend with whom you are familiar? Again, you have many options here. So if you thought of ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué tal? Hola, all of these options work to greet your family friend Violet, and she would respond accordingly. So now that we've learned how to say hello to formal and informal people, now let's learn some ways to say goodbye. So here are some common ways that you could say that formally and informally. So the most common that you probably know is adios. So repeat, adios. Adios means goodbye. Ciao is informal to say goodbye. So that's probably another common one that you hear too is ciao. Adios and ciao are very common. Then you have hasta luego. So repeat, hasta luego. Hasta luego means see you later. And if you need a reminder, hasta means until, luego means later. So it literally means see you later. Then you have hasta mañana. Repeat, hasta mañana. And it's the same concept here. Hasta means until, mañana is morning, so, or tomorrow, so it could be hasta mañana for see you tomorrow. Then this is also another common one that I have seen personally used, so I included nos vemos. And this is a very informal way or formal way that you can say see you later. Nos vemos. Then lastly, to tell somebody to have a great day or a nice day informally, you can use this slogan. Que tengas buen día. I'll slow it down. Que tengas buen día. Que tengas buen día. Have a nice day. So these are all some phrases that you're going to hear at the end of a conversation. So let's say you've already introduced yourself, you talked a little bit, now it's time to go. Any of these will work. Adiós, chao, hasta luego, hasta mañana, nos vemos, que tengas buen día. So now that we have some ideas of ways to say goodbye, let's imagine that you're a teacher. So this is your class of students, estudiantes. So let's say that you're about to dismiss your class for the day. So what are 3 examples of how you could say goodbye to your students for the day? I've already got some ideas of how I could say goodbye, and I actually already do these. So, adios is definitely an option. Ciao is definitely an option. Hasta mañana is definitely an option. But to go back, any of these options will work for your classmate or for your students. So the only thing is you may change que tengas to que tengan, but that's another topic for another day. So these work perfectly fine for ways to say goodbye. So let's move on to my last scenario, or excuse me, to my next topic, which is how you can introduce yourself to other people. So a common one that you've probably already heard, ¿Cómo se llama? That's what's your name. So if you hear somebody say, ¿Cómo se llama? They're asking you, what is your name? So that means that you would respond with your name. So the next one is me llamo, which means my name is. So repeat, me llamo. Now literally this translates to I call myself, but in English it'll just work out with my name is. Then you have le presento a. If you have a family member, a friend, or somebody with you that you'd like to introduce formally, le presento a. I'd like to introduce you to, and then you'd say that person's name. Lastly, after you meet this person, you want to say nice to meet you. So mucho gusto is a very common form to say nice to meet you. Okay, so just to recap, ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? What's your name? Me llamo. Me llamo. My name is. Le presento a. Let's say her name is Cecilia. Le presento a Cecilia. That's exactly how you would use that phrase right there. And lastly, you've met Cecilia, so you want to say nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. So now let's apply some of this into a real life scenario. So let's say that you've just finished a job interview, and at the end, the interviewer says, nice to meet you. How would you respond in Spanish? How would you respond to that if somebody says, nice to meet you? In English, you'd probably say, nice to meet you as well. So in this case, you could use mucho gusto. You could use mucho gusto. And this is one of our last scenarios. So you are the girl in the pink skirt, Katia. So this is you right here, right? And this is your friend. You're going to introduce your friend, Cecilia, to others. So if you want to say, I'd like to introduce you to Cecilia, what do you think a good way would be to introduce her? And if we look back at our answers, I'd like to introduce you to le presento a. We know the name comes after that. So literally in this scenario, you'd say le presento a Cecilia. And that works perfect to introduce your friend Cecilia. So now in Spanish, this is what you can do. You know how to greet formally and informally. For example, hola, hey. You can say goodbye. For example, hasta mañana, which means see you tomorrow. And you can introduce yourself and others. So, me llamo, my name is. So these are the skills that you have acquired just by watching this video. For additional practice, because language takes practice, daily practice at that. So Duolingo is a very great resource, and here are some pros that I personally know from Duolingo. So it's a free resource, 100% free. You have great daily practice, so you could practice for 15 to 20 minutes a day. They have interactive features such as podcasts, stories, and I'll let you figure out the rest. This is accessible on desktop, iPhone, and Android. So it's all inclusive. And then your progress is saved each and every time that you complete a lesson on Duolingo. So I definitely recommend that you all delve into language and you practice with these greetings, introductions, and as you start to acquire more of this knowledge, it will feel motivating to you and you'll want to learn some more. So if you want to keep learning more Español conmigo, then just go on Duolingo and we will go from there. Thank you.
Thank you to all the classroom teachers today. They will all be back next Monday with lessons targeted again for your pre-K and kindergarten students. Tomorrow, Tuesday, tune in for lessons for grades 1st and 2nd. Thank you all for joining us on KCPS Homeroom. Have a great day and remember, continue learning throughout the day.
At Lincoln Middle School, students discover their talents and passions, where teachers plant the seeds of lifelong learning.
I am Lincoln Middle.
Where excellence is nurtured. Students develop the skills to be successful in school, career, and beyond.
Je suis Lincoln Middle.
Lincoln Middle is the public school where your child will thrive and grow. Open a world of possibilities. Apply today. Learn more at enrollkc.org/Lincoln Middle.
The desire to create lives within each of us. From Grammy-winning producers and musicians, to NBA stars, to Navy admirals and Medal of Honor recipients, to internationally renowned artists, and beloved local muralists, Paseo graduates have been creating their own success, their own history, their own legacy since 1926. Now it's your time. Create your future at Paseo Academy of Fine and Performing Arts. Learn more at enrollkc.org/Paseo.
Kindergarten is great at Kansas City Public Schools.
I know they have really good teachers. I know this is a great school.
They teach them stuff that I thought my kids would never be able to know at the age of 5.
Since deciding to send our kiddos to a neighborhood school, we've become even more of a part of our community.
Now is the time to enroll your future kindergartner for the new school year. Visit enrollkc.org today.